Have you ever wondered why some animals are incredibly big, while others are so small you can barely see them? Our world is full of amazing creatures of all shapes and sizes, from the enormous to the tiny. This incredible range of sizes is a fascinating part of nature. When scientists talk about animals that are much larger than their relatives, they call it gigantism. Think of it like a supersized version of an animal. On the other hand, when animals are much smaller than their relatives, it's called dwarfism. It's like nature decided to make a miniature version. These are not just random occurrences. There are very good reasons why animals evolved to become giants or tiny wonders. Let's look at what these words really mean. Gigantism means growing to a giant size. A perfect example is the blue whale, the largest animal that has ever lived on Earth. It is so big that its heart is the size of a small car, and a person could swim through its largest blood vessels. Can you imagine something that massive? Then we have dwarfism, which is the exact opposite. An animal with dwarfism is exceptionally small. A great example is the bee hummingbird, which is the smallest bird in the world. It is so light that it weighs less than a penny and is often mistaken for a large bee. These extremes show how adaptable life can be. On land, the African elephant is a true giant. It is the largest living land animal, with huge ears that help it stay cool, and a long trunk it uses like an extra hand. No other land animal comes close to its massive size. In the water, we already met the blue whale, a gentle giant that filters tiny shrimp-like animals called krill from the ocean. For the tiny wonders, let's look on land again at the Etruscan shrew. It is one of the world's smallest mammals by mass. So small it could curl up on your thumbnail. In the water, one of the tiniest fish is the cypress, which is no longer than a grain of rice. It lives in special swamp forests and is almost invisible. These animals are not big or small by accident. Their size is a special tool that helps them live in their environment. It's a result of a long process called evolution, where animals slowly change over many generations to become better suited to their homes. Being a giant might help an animal protect itself from predators, while being tiny might help it hide or need less food to survive. Every size has its own set of advantages and challenges. In the next sections, we will explore exactly why it's sometimes good to be very big, and other times it's much better to be very small. So why do some animals grow to become giants? One of the biggest reasons is safety. If you are an enormous African elephant, there are very few predators that would dare to attack you. A single adult elephant is too big, too strong, and too dangerous for even a pride of lions to take down easily. Their massive size is like a natural shield, telling predators to stay away. This is called predator protection. The same is true for the blue whale in the ocean. When you are the biggest thing around, you are usually at the top of the food chain, which means you can focus on finding food and raising your young without constantly worrying about being eaten. Another reason for gigantism is controlling territory and finding food. Larger animals can often travel longer distances to find food and water. An elephant can walk for many miles in a single day, which is very useful during a dry season when resources are scarce. Being big also means you can push smaller animals away from the best food sources. In the ocean, a large whale can cover vast areas of water to find dense patches of krill. A bigger body can also store more fat, which acts as an energy reserve, allowing giants to go for longer periods without eating. This is a huge advantage in environments where food isn't always available. The environment itself can also encourage animals to become larger. In cold climates, like the Arctic or deep oceans, a bigger body is better at staying warm. This is because larger animals have less skin surface area compared to their total volume, so they lose body heat more slowly. This is why you see large animals like polar bears and walruses in the cold north. The water also plays a big role. Water can support an animal's weight, which is why the biggest animal of all time, the blue whale, lives in the ocean. On land, an animal that big would be crushed by its own weight, but the buoyancy of water helps it move and live. Finally, being big can help with regulating body temperature. We mentioned that large animals stay warmer in the cold, but their size can also help them stay cool in the heat. The African elephant's large, thin ears are full of blood vessels. By flapping its ears, the elephant can cool its blood down, which then circulates through the rest of its body. A large body takes longer to heat up in the sun, giving the animal more time to find shade or water before it gets too hot. So whether it's for defense, finding food, or simply managing the climate, being a giant comes with some powerful survival benefits. Now let's think about the opposite. Why would it be good to be tiny? One of the best things about being small is the ability to hide. A little mouse can squeeze into a tiny crack in a wall to escape a cat, and a small insect can disappear under a leaf in the blink of an eye. This is a fantastic way to avoid being eaten. For tiny creatures, the world is full of hiding spots that are completely unavailable to larger animals. A small fish can dart into a crevice in a coral reef, and a hummingbird can build its nest on a delicate branch where a heavier predator can't go. Being small means you can be a master of hide and seek. Another huge advantage of being small is needing less food. A tiny Etruscan shrew needs only a few insects each day to have enough energy to survive. An elephant, on the other hand, needs to eat hundreds of pounds of plants every single day. This means that small animals can live in places where food is not very abundant. They can find enough to eat in a small patch of forest or a little puddle. This allows them to occupy unique niches or roles in the environment. They can live in places larger animals couldn't, simply because they have smaller appetites and can make. So, we have seen that being a giant has its perks, and being tiny has its advantages. But why is it so important for nature to have both? The answer is balance. Every animal, no matter its size, plays a special role in its ecosystem. The world needs both the giants and the tiny wonders to work properly. Imagine a forest with only large animals. They would quickly eat all the big plants, and there would be no one to pollinate the small flowers or break down fallen leaves on the forest floor. The ecosystem would become unbalanced and unhealthy. Now, imagine a world with only small animals. There would be no large herbivores like elephants to create clearings in the forest, which allow new types of plants to grow. There would be no giant whales to stir up nutrients from the deep ocean to the surface, which feeds countless smaller organisms. The giants of the world are like nature's engineers. Their actions shape the environment in big ways, creating opportunities for smaller creatures to thrive. They move seeds over long distances and create pathways that other animals can use. Their importance goes far beyond just their impressive size. The variety of sizes in the animal kingdom is a sign of a healthy planet. This diversity means that all the available resources in an environment, from the largest trees to the tiniest specks of pollen, are being used. Tiny insects pollinate the plants that feed larger herbivores. Those herbivores, in turn, become food for large carnivores. When these large animals die, their bodies are broken down by armies of tiny bacteria and insects, returning nutrients to the soil so that new plants can grow. It is a continuous cycle where every size is connected and depends on the others. In the end, nature doesn't have a favorite size. Whether an animal is as large as a whale or as small as a shrew, its size is a perfect solution to the challenges of its life. It's a strategy for finding food, staying safe, and raising a family. The incredible diversity of animal sizes makes our world more interesting, more resilient, and more beautiful. From the footsteps of the elephant to the flutter of a hummingbird's wings, every creature, big and small, contributes to the wonderful and complex web of life on Earth.